Welcome to America's Commercial Real Estate Show, your source for market intel, forecasts, and strategies. Hello, I'm Michael Bull. Thank you for being with us. This segment is brought to you by CommercialAgentSuccess.com. It is the ultimate in commercial real estate broker training. I guarantee you will like it. Visit CommercialAgentSuccess.com to learn more. Well, let me ask you, are you in sales? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you in a service business? Well, our shows once a week, every year for over 11 years now are really about market intel, forecasts, and strategies, really geared to people who own and control commercial properties, multifamily land development, and for those of us who support them in the various industries. Well, then once a year, I do a show I call my present, that is for the folks who support them. But, when you think about it, we're all in sales in some way, right? We're all selling something and providing a service to someone. Well, today I'm going to cover the top 10 success strategies for commercial agents. So if you're not in service or sales or an entrepreneur, the show may bore you. If you are, you might consider it pure gold. Well, let's get started. So my number one, I'm going to give you 10. My number one strategy for success in commercial brokerage sales business is to take care of your client, number one. That may seem obvious. Hey, Michael, we know that, but it really will help guide you. So if you think about in any type of business transaction, who do you represent? And especially when you're a real estate broker, you also want to treat everyone fairly. And our goal when we're working in transactions is to treat everyone in the transaction the way we'd want to be treated if we were them, right? And that can help you make the right decisions at the end of a deal that works, or if it doesn't work, that they look back at the transaction, whether the attempted one, and say, hey, that Michael Bull was great to work with, always knew where I stood, everything was communicated well and presented well. So, but at the same time, make sure you understand who your client is and take care of your client. It really makes decisions come easy. It's really kind of an easy button. So that's number one. All right. Number two, education, training. To be a commercial real estate broker, there's a lot of skills involved, and I won't go into all of those because we have courses on that. But one of the challenges I see that brokers that don't make it or that perform poorly is they really didn't get the proper training and education. And one of the things when I started in this business 35 years ago was when I saw that, all the skills that were needed, I said, well, look, I've got to consistently train. And I really did that. So I studied all the top sales brokers in the country. What were they doing? And realized every skill that I needed to perform well for clients. I studied and still study. In recent years, I've taken classes on hosting television shows, doing stand-up comedy, public speaking. There's so much that we do that will help us be better providers for our clients. There's really, in commercial brokerage, there's really like 5 buckets of skills that you need to hone. And there's a lot in those buckets, but basically one of the buckets is providing the services that you do for your chosen area of expertise, providing those services. Another bucket is entrepreneurship, realizing as an agent, you're running your own business. And so you've got to have that kind of spirit, attitude about your business and operate it that way. Another bucket is analysis and underwriting. And analysis and underwriting, I think one of the great sources there is CCIM. Go to CCIM.com, take all their courses, and they just really fire hose it through a funnel, right? And it's a great organization, networking. So I recommend that. Another bucket is business development. And now business development for commercial agents that training is really hard to find. I've never really found the training that I really thought really worked well for our specific field. So I started creating it many years ago and perfecting it every year and every year. I have a shop of 50 people here. I'm licensed in 9 Southeast states, so we do a lot of business. and have a lot of brokers, and we continually help them, train them and their team throughout their career. So we have really advanced training that's for advanced brokers, and I created it. So finding that business development training, find that and get it if you can. And we put a lot of that training at commercialagentsuccess.com. The fifth bucket, probably the most important bucket, is sales and negotiation skills. As I've studied the top salespeople around the country and seen brokers in my shop that we've been around for 24 years, and their level of success with clients and those who didn't make it and all in between, a lot of it is about their determination to go get the training and skills, their determination to do well in their business and for their clients, and their determination to get sales and negotiation training. So what I tell brokers is, look, go get the top 10 sales books of all time throughout history, not just recent. Sales hasn't changed that much, right? It might be Zig Ziglar, Stephen Covey, those types of authors, but really study sales because, what we do each day is half advisory and half sales, right? We're marketing our services. We're selling our services. We're marketing and selling properties for sale or for lease. So go ahead and get that and just continually train, and that will help you out a lot. So that was number 2. Number 3 is specialize. Now, if you're in a smaller market, maybe your specialty is a geographic one. That's fine. I want to move to Key West one day in my dreams, and if I focus on selling high-rise office buildings, I sell big office buildings now. I won't get much business right there in Key West, right? So maybe your specialty is geographic. But a lot of the top brokers focus on one specialty, one service, one property type. And there's a lot of advantages to it. You really become more valuable for clients. You have a lot of efficiency. You also really know what you're doing each day, right? You can really hone in and have a mission statement and a focus and put the blinders on for all the property types and services and really become an expert on your property type. If you've ever asked a commercial broker who's real successful about a property type they're not in, and they tell you they have no idea and don't care, and you think, is that weird? No, that's probably fantastic. If there's an office tenant rep in Chicago, he doesn't need to know what's going on in the apartment world or with industrial. He might know somewhat, but he doesn't need to study it, and he doesn't want to go out of his area of expertise because there's so much efficiency. So specializing, I think, is a great way to go. Number 4 is really sales and motivation, right? It was one of the 5 buckets. So when I started in the business and I saw commercial real estate salesperson in the title, I'm like, uh-oh, sales. At that point, I was really young when I started. I was still in school, and I saw sales in the title. I'm like, oh man, I don't know about that. And I'd never met a salesperson I liked. At that point in my life, I'd never met a salesperson that I thought was a good person, right? So that made me nervous. So I really studied sales like crazy. I kind of got in a habit of that. And, and the great thing about our business is we're not trying to sell something to someone that they don't need, right? We're just trying to help people make very good decisions. And one of the most frustrating things in this business, and maybe you've been there, right, is when you have good advice and your client or customer should do what you're advising them to do, and you can't get them to do it. And that's very frustrating. So, studying sales is very important because you really want to help people make good decisions. You're not trying to cram anything down anyone's throat. You really want to help them. So really study sales in a big way. All right, number 5 is really important in any sales business and any service business, right, especially commercial real estate, is consistent prospecting is number 5. And, if you're in a business like that or you're a commercial broker, understanding that consistent prospecting, if you get into your daily routine, you're going to have better prospects, better properties, more properties and assignments that are better suited for you. If you kind of wait and see what comes in the door or whatever, you're prone to doing this and that you really shouldn't do. But if you're going after the business where you're most valuable to the clients, for example, a team that sells office buildings, and we know we're providing incredible service, and we know that we're the best the best service that they can get, and it gives you a lot of pride. It gives you a lot of confidence, and you do a great job, and people appreciate you. So really, consistent prospecting in your field is a real success strategy. I'll give you a tip. One is to block time for that consistent prospecting. Have it on your calendar, and as much as you possibly can, block that time. Here's another tip. You should have a prospecting goal each day. Right? Each day. But the more important goal, I think, is a minimum prospecting, right? So let's say you've been in business for a while, and your prospecting goal is 10 new business contacts a day. Well, have a minimum that's so low that you can get to it no matter what, just no matter what. When I was an agent early on in my career, I focused on multifamily properties, and I had a huge market share in Atlanta at the time and did a lot of business. And one day I had a lot of closings, and one day like 5, and I came back to my office, and I had 3 assistants, and they came to the doors. I came back in like 5 or 5:30 and started to make my minimum number of calls. And they had added up the commissions that day, and they came in, well, what are you doing? What are you doing here? And I'm like, I need to make my calls. I understand that, half the deals I have might get delayed and half might fall through. I have to make my calls each day. So if you get that as part of your habit, you're going to be successful. And I do multiple prospecting, prospecting and business development. Again, that's one of the largest, best education and training source you can get. Check out commercialagentsuccess.com for that. All right, so that's 5. I'm going to give you 5 more, but we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Stay with us. I'm Michael Bull. This is America's Commercial Real Estate Show. America's Commercial Real Estate Show is brought to you by Buxton. Take leasing, site selection, and due diligence to the next level. Make the right decisions with on-demand mobile data. Visit buxtonco.com. By Bull Realty. For proven commercial real estate asset and occupancy solutions, contact me. My email is michael@bullrealty.com. By Commercial Agent Success. Expert-level commercial real estate broker training. Cloud Access 1, up to 21 one-hour videos. Visit commercialagentsuccess.com. Thank you for reviewing, subscribing, and sharing America's Commercial Real Estate Show.